Nameplates are assigned. Let's get this party started, everyone. Let's get this party started. Yes. We have interesting positions already chosen. Everyone coming from below here on the IRA side. Okay. Heavy attack angles being chosen on both sides. The goal of the game are either to destroy all enemies or capture these points and take up to 1000 points. Each of these points, when you hold it, gives you 2 points every 5 seconds. And I have it the right way around. Yeah, Team E here on the left side in red. Team Guidance non-conforming on the right side in blue. So let's see how this goes. 1 minute till start. As the one team is ready. We're gonna enter together with a lovely pink ship, the RCT. You shall not. What was the name of it? You shall not die in war. But okay, no, it shifted it on the other way around on the top now. Okay, I will. Give me a second, guys. Then we gonna be right there as well. Yes, Team E is bringing in the Warspite, a big battleship, and 2 light cruisers over here with a good amount of missiles. 42 missiles each. Whilst the battleship is more in defense mode. As on the other side, we have 2 heavy cruisers. 2 heavy cruisers versus 1 battleship, when it comes to gunfights, is a relatively close fight. But this one doesn't have guns. This one, the You Shall Not Die in War, has a hell of a lot of missiles though. As it brings around, yeah, a lot of missiles here. 130 missiles, though 92 of them are small missiles. The heaters. Whilst the other one bringing in a couple fewer, but has some 74 defensive missiles, I guess, as well. The Warspite sitting on the other side. HMS with the classic Royal Navy flag on it as well. Some real British patriotism here. Reusing one of the most legendary names of any British warship. As we are coming in here on both sides. Light cruisers, one of them already split up. Trying to get into an advantageous position. Over here on the cliffs. Whilst it is Team Blue that gets faster for the capture points. Already captured 2. But the red team is still on the way to its second capture point over here at B. The 5th capture point is really central and really open. A point, you kind of have to be either doing a mad dash towards it to capture it, or really push the enemy out of there to get the A point, usually, in these kind of matches. We already see the first lock. Already the first heavy cruiser has been spotted here. But on the other side, none of these ships has been spotted on the red side. So now this has changed, and we see the first jamming action here on the battlefield as well. Blue coming in here, trying to maneuver with their frigate, which is a full-on E-warfare frigate. 2 jammers, 1 anti-missile system and one radar, one fire control radar on these ships to allow the battle cruisers to be more accurate. And interesting. There is a couple of tracks. I don't think that was meant to be all shed. But yeah, you can now type track codes into the chat as well. And then people can click on them this way, which is really, really helpful. A nice quality of life function as well. The game has improved a lot with every patch so far. It's relatively slow development, as it is a really small team, but they're doing a hell of a job. Meanwhile, we have the nothing is beyond our reach chilling up here. Guess this is, yeah, this is a Eland spotting ship. Trying to stay out of any spotting range of the enemy whilst giving some intel about the enemy position by tracking enemy radio signatures. Might want to go for B if the battleship leaves there. Also, the battleship, is it already maneuvering out of B? Yes, it's maneuvering too fast out of the B point here. Ooh, that is a big mistake, as B point hasn't been captured. And that means the tick for blue will stay double the tick of red for now, which is obviously not what you want to have happen. Chat, this is... might be in the end a big mistake here for the red team, because that puts them under pressure to capture more points in the later game and also push harder, maybe try to go for the all-out kill on the enemy team. Obviously both sides having the same amount of ships, so just running around faster than your enemy capturing stuff is not really an option here at the moment. Whilst we have the Ascension trying to be sneaky here, as it comes in with its good amount of stage 3 missiles from below all the other ships. Both heavy cruisers still camping in D. Two of the frigates trying to find some enemy ships to target. Battleship closing in here. As it, the battleship alone can outgun the whole enemy team. With its 3 turrets, it can beat the enemy ships, as there's only 5 guns on the other side. 9 guns on this battleship, only 5 guns on the other side. So if it comes to long-range gun duels, this battleship will do really, really well. But we have the first missile flying. I'm not 100% sure what it is trying to go for. It seems like the hypothesis got spotted. And we'll see how good its E-Warfare will be. Unless this is just... okay, it just crashes into the rock. As the hypothesis was taking evasive actions there. Trying to dodge that missile. And was successful in that maneuver. I guess with only a single missile fired, this was more to see the reaction on the other side. See how much fire there would be coming up. Though these don't have much anti-missile warfare. No guns whatsoever. It seems like they have a couple of stage 1 defensive missiles. But that might be it. So when it comes to defensive actions, these seem to be rather undefended against any kind of missiles. Same down here. These are really aggressive ships. Only one small cell of stage 1 missiles. But the Ascension is coming around the lower part of this map. Another one of these stage 2 long-range missiles. Tier 2 2-stage long-range missiles coming around here. Trying to fight the hypothesis, but the hypothesis has moved further away. So the Kukri has to search further, but can't maneuver well enough and lands in the rock as well. Good maneuvering here on the red side's part, getting out of that spot, getting away from the enemy missiles. But the battleship still hasn't found any targets. Not quite in range to fire once across the map here with its guns. But the Ascension is nearly where it wants to be. Both heavy cruisers directly above it. If this can get a good salvo out before the enemy can get into... It can get any reactions out, this would be really massive. Another Kukri trying to find the enemy here. Might find the Thimble. As that is pretty far out in the open. Tries to get defensive missiles out, but isn't quick enough and gets hit once. And for a small ship like this is a lot of damage. Any sort of missile hit on these kind of ships does a lot. So this already might be close to death. But the big question is, what does the Ascension do down here? What does the Ascension achieve down here? It's trying to come along. Can it get the unfinished beauty? And the flame is gone. Fire remains from below. It's coming around now, so it should be getting spotted soon. Yeah, it has been spotted. What will the reaction be? Doesn't seem to have any sensors on the unfinished beauty. But now the heavy cruiser is desperately trying to maneuver around, trying to turn, trying to get its guns on target, as the Ascension is getting into missile range. Decided to disengage once more though. Seems. No. Okay. Indecisive. Oh, gets hit hard by a beam. That's never what you want to get hit by in CQC fights like this. Needs to get its missiles out quickly here. Otherwise, it won't have the time to do so. Okay, heavy stage 3 torpedoes on the way. SGT 350 maces coming out. But on the other side, the Defender swarm is insane. The amount of Defender missiles coming along here is really... Oh my godness. Okay, yeah. The frame rate for everyone drops here as this is happening. As this is a hell of a lot of missiles to counter the heavy torpedo swarm here. And I don't think these torpedoes are gonna go anywhere. The question is, did they overdo it with the missiles? How many missiles are there remaining? They are depleting quickly. And yeah, all the defensive missiles on both ships have been used up. For one of the light cruisers. They get the light cruiser. Light cruiser won't deal any damage. Now the question is, what do they do if the second light cruiser gets onto them in a similar distance? Because now they don't have the defensive missiles left. So they should be vulnerable to the second. The Ascension might have done the sacrifice to allow the Apophysis to deal the damage later on, but we are not quite there yet. The Apophysis is not in position to hit these two ships just yet. So that is gonna be interesting. Will the sacrifice be worthwhile, or was it all in vain as the Ascension came around to rock here? And what is the Warspite going to do? Damage over here is relatively heavy, but well split up. Like, everything got some amount of damage. Ship should be slowed down quite significantly due to the main engine damage. Its launchers and so on are also all damaged, but it's still functional. still can capture your spots. And the Warspite is going for A, and that will increase the tick rate for the red team above the tick rate of the blue team. Both of the heavy cruisers though are staying out of gun range of the Warspite. So Warspite so far not able to get any damage out of its 3 big guns. And it has to be careful to not get too close to the beam heavy cruiser. The beam heavy cruiser can still be relatively dangerous even in the 1v1 if it gets into range. But the gun heavy cruiser will lose a fight with its 5 guns, but might still be able to help out crippling some important systems at the meantime. Yeah, the beam heavy cruiser coming around the rock now. Not sure if it is in range, or if it's just trying to get into missile range here, as the offensive missiles on these ships are still around. And it has 25 missiles here. 5 heavy ones, 20 mid-sized ones. As the first kukri is flying, trying to figure out the defenses of the Warspite. Let's see how the Warspite will react. The kukri is coming in. Will the kukri be able to penetrate this time? It seems to go for the active decoy. Doesn't find its target here. Actually flying in the wrong direction in the end before exploding, but 1 missile for an active decoy. That might be a worthwhile exchange. How many active decoys are there on this battleship? There are 9 more. Okay. Now the heavy guns finally fired their first shot, but they don't seem to be too accurate here, as both shots do miss the ship. And the blue team is rotating around to the other side of the map. The Ascension, the Apophysis is still at its spot over here. Heavy cruiser is flying above it, losing a volley of 5 shots onto the Warspite. Warspite not quite able to react just yet, trying to get its guns onto target as the flame is gone. The fire lasts. The fire remains. Is relatively far out in the open. So Warspite should be able to get a couple of shots back onto it as well, as tracks are on target. But it's rotating relatively slowly here, as the first couple of shots land on their target here. A couple of thrusters damaged. Nothing majorly hit so far though. Obviously a battleship can take a good amount of gun damage before it goes into critical state. And the 3 captured zones here now ticking up faster than the ones for blue. Unlike in other strategy games, where it's often the difference that gets ticked, for example in Wano or in Steel Division, here both sides get the tick for their flags. So blue team still gets points, but they get less points than the red team here, as they control fewer points in general. The red team at the moment gets 6 points every 5 seconds. The blue team gets 4 points every 5 seconds. So with the current tick rate, red would achieve this 1000 points faster than the blue team, but blue team still gets some more points. And one of the small sprinters of them arrives in B and will change that situation. So the red team has to go around and try to go for the D point here. The battleship finally gets some shots off and lands the first couple of hits here on the unfinished beauty. As it is not really made up for damage like this. These kind of ships don't want to get hit by 450 centimeter guns. And especially not by 6 of them at once. So the damage here really starts to kick in. All systems damaged, a couple of fires already breaking out. At the same time, the battleship gets hit as well, though.
The enemy secured zone boxer.
B point has been captured. For now, still relatively fine. Damage actually surprisingly manageable. As the Warspite continues its fire. Changes back to the heavy cruiser up top again, though. That is trying to always get a salvo out and then hide behind the rocks again. Not allow the Warspite any good shots on target. And the blue team once more an advantage when it comes to the points. Same time, around E, we have the next matchup that is just around the corner as the heavy cruiser is coming up right above the apophysis. And that is its time to strike. Question is, can its missiles maneuver this quickly? Because these two ships are insanely close. Like, there's really little space between these two. And that might actually be a problem. Like, you want to get close with these missiles. But the question is, do you want to get this close? This is really, really close. Both ships might have struggled to maneuver around. Getting the beam on target here won't be easy either. The maces are out. Yeah, okay, the torpedoes get on target, and that should be the end of this heavy cruiser, as the maces land in good succession. Already a lot of critical damage is achieved, and more of the maces hitting their target. All reactors are critical, and we have a more critical damage on some of the launchers as well, and that should be it for the You Shall Not Die in War. As the apophysis found its target. Really well played here with the positioning of the apophysis. Blue team may be overreacting a bit when it comes to getting the kills off, but it's not lost for the blue team, because blue team at the same time is capturing E at the moment. And if they can at least get that, and maybe kill the apophysis here with their second heavy cruiser, as they try to do right now. Yeah, they capture E. They might still get the tick advantage here. They might still get the advantage with the ticks. Firing one more missile into the You Shall Not Die. I don't think that is quite necessary. There's not really enough repair teams here remaining. And this reactor most likely will go critical. So this is not quite necessary. The missiles here that try to come for the apophysis all will miss their target though, and that is quite painful. A couple of defensive missiles coming out for them at least, so at least that reaction they get out of there. E will get captured back as well immediately. So blue team not looking good after that hit, and the Ascension's move over here starts to pay off. Blue team may be a bit overreacting to that one ship by firing all their missiles. Maybe one of the heavy cruisers should have had its defensive missiles on hold fire when that first event happened. As now they don't have any defensive measures against these kind of missiles. And the apophysis still has some of them remaining. Still 15 more missiles remaining. 14 of them big mace torpedoes. So the second heavy cruiser here has to be really careful as well. C-Face, E-Point is nearly captured back. Blue still 100 points in advantage, but that is not quite good enough just yet. They need to capture more points here. And going for Alpha is not really viable with the ships they have. They need to kill one or two ships of the enemy with the heavy cruiser now. They got one light cruiser. Taking out the apophysis would obviously be really major, but getting into a good position for that won't be easy. Oh yeah, I will put it to the left side. This is going on. Thimble coming in here and trying to capture the D point. Oh no, the nothing beyond our reach is trying to move around there, not the thimble. Is this ship dashing for the A point? It seems like it, but that might be an ill-advised move with the Warspite so close. I don't think A point can be captured. I mean, they have to try to go for it, I guess. Or try to go for the E point, as the Apophysis now gets shot here. A couple of good hits would be really, really helpful. Sadly for the blue team, so far that has not happened. And the Apophysis is getting behind the rock here. As the whole battlefield has kind of turned. Blue team now has taken over red team's starting position here, whilst the red team has rotated around to blue team's starting position mostly. If this ship can capture the A point, that would be massive, but it's already under fire, and yeah, no. I don't think it will have enough time to capture this point completely, as it is way, way too close to this battleship, which now has its guns all turned on it. Or, not quite all guns turned on it just yet. Only 3 guns actually firing for now. But it might actually work out. The sacrifice here might at least buy the A point for a while, as we are up to 610 points by now for the blue team. Will this ship die before it can get the point? The 3 shots here not doing too well. 3 more shells coming in though, 2 of them hitting. But the A point seems to get captured here. Can the blue team win it by the points?
The enemy secured zone Atlas.
Will not capturing B early on bite the red team in the end? As blue team once more has the 3 zones, is once more taking up rapidly here now. Whilst we have blue ship coming around the corner over here. Point E is sitting around. That's we're coming around here. Okay, more missiles flying out. Tier 3 2-stage missiles here. Trying to go for the Apophysis. Can they maneuver in time though? Oh, that is... They're getting really close to the rock here, but they get around it. The Apophysis really, really well hidden though there, next to the rock. Once more, missiles of the blue team not finding their target. And that is painful. As the heavy cruiser is on the hunt now, trying to dash for E. But might not be able to capture it, as the Apophysis is trying to maneuver once more away. Really good control on these light cruisers. Always just staying out of range. Always just staying out of line of sight until the enemy gets overeager, gets too close, and then hitting them hard. Once more missiles here trying to come out, but once more they most likely won't find anything. The Animus missiles trying to find their target. This one going for the battleship, it seems though? Or is it going for the thimble? Going for the thimble might be the right move here. They can take out the thimble. That would allow them to capture the D point with their last remaining frigate. Where is this missile going? Question is one of these missiles good enough to kill the thimble? And I guess it was not going for the thimble. I guess it was going for the battleship. Or is it? No, it's actually coming over here. One riposte coming out of the thimble. Is that good enough to kill the missile? No, it is not. Second one coming out. Is that doing the job? Still not quite. Warhead is out. Is that the kill? That is the kill! And that is really, really key. B point currently captured by the red team. This could allow a capture of the D point though. But with B point being captured as well by the red team, this might still not be good enough for the blues. The blues here still under heavy pressure. Down 2 ships versus 3, and what kind of ships there are in the red team still. With 1 heavy battleship and that really annoying light cruiser that just doesn't get away. So let's see how that goes. As the Apotheosis is hugging the asteroid over here. And now we have a gun duel that you don't want to be in. Heavy cruiser with 5 guns out in the open somewhat now against a battleship with 9 guns against it. Battleship not quite getting all guns on target though. It is rotated weirdly at the moment. And if you can get out its thrusters maybe, you can hit those hard enough. As a lot of them are located relatively near to the rear of the ship. And if you could get the hits on there, that might matter big time. As then it might be stuck on only firing with 3 guns here. Good amount of hits against the engines here, against the thrusters. Adaptive radar is dead already, one of the radar panels as well. So that is interesting. Can this ship do the job? Still also has to be careful of the Apotheosis around the corner though, and it might get too close here. D point and E point getting captured by the blue team at the moment, but the big question is how much damage can the Apotheosis deal with its remaining 14 mace torpedoes? And I fear that that might be too much. It's coming around the corner now. Blue ship still closing in, not really well rotated to get the kill onto the maces. Well, I guess both Auroras are showing in the right direction, but those torpedoes all come out at once, most likely. Now, ship is rotating around to hit the Apotheosis. Oh no, yeah, you should keep that Aurora on side. Actually, the rotation was not the worst. Yes, the stage 3 missiles here trying to go for the maces. First mace has been taken out. But now, yeah, this is the wave of maces that you need to worry about, and I fear that this might be too much. Aurora gets hit by a good amount of missiles, but the maces are all out. As we try, the ship is trying to get away. A couple of these maces not finding their target. Actually, all of them lost their command. The missiles of the blue team that were on target faster seem to have done the job when it comes to the control of these maces, as all the maces missed their target, and that is really, really huge. At the same time, the corvette over here though gets hit up. I don't know why it moved out of D like that. It should have stayed in the D point, as it is now hunted down by the enemy battleship. And without the D point, this is not gonna be won. So this little ship has to survive, but it don't seem to be able to do that, as it is under fire by the guns as well. And that would still, even if the Apotheosis dies here, mean that this in the end is a 1 versus 2, with red already having more points now, both controlled and ticked up. So the red still in a really big advantage here now. I don't know why it moved out of D point again, this little blue ship. Should have just stayed low to the ground. Or maybe move out on the rear, outside of the D zone. Stay around here, wait where the battleship goes, try to go for A or D. I don't know, like, this move seems to be weird to me, as now we're down to only 1 heavy cruiser on the blue side. And that is pretty bad. The heavy cruiser still trying to fire up onto the light cruiser over here. That is blocking it from capturing E point as well. Whilst over here, the Warspite is firing more missiles in over here. Getting a nice hit in. Good hits. And yeah, this ship already is dead, so that's all just overkill. The guns have rotated back around onto the heavy cruiser as well. And blue team at the moment only ticking with one captured zone, as they never were able to get the E point, as the Apophysis, even though it's close to death, still blocks it at the moment from being captured. So red team currently taking with 4 points versus the 1 of the blue team, as it seems like this ship should be dead soon. But it is not quite dead yet, and it did an amazing job for its team, taking out one of the 2 big ships of the enemy team. Not quite getting the missiles in on the last one in the end, as the missiles of the flame is gone, the fire remains, did their job here on the Apophysis, but
10 minutes remain.
in the end, red team here will take the victory. Blue team's shots here also over-penetrating against the light cruiser, so it's not doing an amazing amount of damage. As Team E will take the victory in round 1 here. Apophysis getting hit up here, but it did an amazing job. Warspite not dealing amazing amount of damage, but obviously battleships are there to zone out the enemy, and that it did pretty well as well, getting to dash 4A without any of the enemy teams being ships being able to get close to it. Took a bit of damage as well, but no significant amount. Like, this is all still pretty fine for a battleship of this class. Solomons can take a good amount of damage before going down. As the Warspite is now also capturing last point, but that won't matter as we are just about to go over the 1000 point mark. I have the battle report now. And this is also a really nice cool feature that they added with the latest patch, where you can see how well ships did. And yeah, the Apophysis did pretty good. Used its sensor as well. Used its missile warfare. It's only fair, it says, but I guess that was down to missing all the salvos in the last shot, but it actually did use its damage really well. 26,000 damage dealt with its missiles, with its mace torpedoes there, and that was good enough to eliminate this ship over here. 21,000 damage of these dealt to the You Shall Not Die in War. A couple of the other ships killed off, mostly by the big HMS Warspite. Only 9,000 damage dealt here, so way less, but killing off a couple of ships with it. Yeah, missile warfare, exceptional. It got a couple of good hits in here. The Ascension, it says, well, yeah, mostly, yeah, missile warfare terrible, it says, because all its missiles got killed off, but it did its job, actually. Because all its missiles went out, all its missiles went towards its targets, and scared them so much that they fired all their defensive missiles at once on all torpedoes out of this ship. So, GGVP here to Team E, winning round number 1 in a clutch fight. And let's see how it goes for round number 2.